Anderson Montgomery, and I am the owner of Elegant Simplified Salon, where we focus on natural and mixed hair types, educating our clients on product knowledge and how to maintain their hair in between salon services. Today I'm here to talk about why I went natural, my natural hair journey. I want to discuss this because I know a lot of people that I have talked to and came across struggle with trying to transition their hair to natural, and then you have the ones who transition and then they are stuck and struggling on what to do with it, how to style it, and how to make their hair routine or wash day, as you call it, less stressful and less time consuming. So first I want to start off with I've been natural since about 2010, 2009, 2010. What made me start my journey was I've always had pretty decent length on my hair. It's usually always been like medium length or longer. If I ever had it short, it was because I, cut it that way. And I've always been the type of person that try to, keep up on like my hair appointments, get my hair done, things like that in the past. Keep my ends trimmed to a certain, trying to just maintain it as much as I knew to back then. Because back then versus now, it wasn't as much knowledge on natural hair. So I started off relaxed, of course. Then I noticed that with me being relaxed and also, trying to go back and forth, keeping the trims and all that stuff, it was growing, but it was really thin. And it wasn't, it was real flat, thin. Like if the wind blew it, it would just like stay there and stick up. It didn't flow very like how I wanted it to. Also I noticed within my family, genetically, a lot of us, this seems to be for a lot of African-American women, or women I'll say, but I've seen it since I deal with a lot of African-American women, I see it in them mostly. But with the thinning of the hair as we get older, things like that. So with my family, I noticed a lot of us who were relaxed, which as we got older, our hair would start to kind of thin out more, and it was more around the edges and and towards the middle area. So my thought was, well, shoot, if I go natural and, get my hair to get thicker, when I get older and it starts to kind of thin out or whatever, maybe you won't notice as much because, my hair started off thicker. So that was my initial reason for going natural. But I didn't understand how to transition. I thought I did, but I wasn't all the way sure on the right steps, but I was just trying, things that I heard from fellow other people who had went natural or who was trying to transition to natural. So I was trying the things they said. Eventually then I got into hair school. We started kind of learning a little bit more about natural hair. I started seeing more people going natural. So I started to explore that more. So I started to say I wanted to transition. So I was going to do the big chop, but I was like, I really didn't want to cut my hair really short. Still wanted some length. But I had my hair short before, so I knew, short hair would look good on me depending on how I styled it. But I didn't want to go all the way like bald or like taper cut or anything. So basically I just went to a salon, had them cut it into like a asymmetrical kind of choppy looking bob. I would like graduated bob. So I wore that. As I wore it, I let it grow out a little bit. I'll say I would get it trimmed. I'll say like every 3 to 4 weeks. Because I was just trying to get my relaxer off then. So I wasn't really worried about length, even though it was growing, getting a little longer as I was trimming it, because I was getting all the dead weight off, so my hair was, and I was shampooing more and stuff like that. Because I had learned to basically shampooing more help with the growth, which would help get my new growth in faster, and then trimming would help get rid of the relaxed hair on the ends as the new growth was growing in through my scalp. So noticing that that was working, because I had to figure that out first because I wasn't washing as often. Once I figured that out, then I pretty much kept getting it trimmed every 3 to 4 weeks, like I said. But when I was getting it trimmed, I was getting like a nice bit trimmed off because I wanted my hair to stay in that short bob style until I got all the way natural. So, but for people who, you know, you want to grow out as you transition, that's fine as well. You wouldn't trim off as much as I was taking off. So I would get, basically I was getting a haircut, because a cut and a trim are 2 different things. So I would go get a haircut every 3 to 4 weeks. Now that was for me keeping my hair in that style, because I wanted it short then. Shorter than, but if you're just trying to transition and you want it to grow, you would just get the trims every 3 to 4 weeks, or 6. You can do every 6 to 8 weeks too. But for me, I wanted to get the relaxer off quicker, so I was going like every 3 to 4 weeks. And of course, my hair was growing faster, so I wanted to keep it short, so it was getting longer in that 3 to 4 weeks. So for those 2 reasons is why I did it every 3 to 4 weeks. But once I did that, then I started struggling with, especially in the summertime, with wanting to wear it straight, and it was short, and I wanted to wear it straight, but then once I straighten it, then I go outside and it's all poofy again, and it was very frustrating. So, and I didn't want to keep putting heat on it as well, so, because I know that can cause you to get like heat damage on the hair. So, basically, I decided, okay, I need to figure out first of all, what products is going to work on my hair, because the products I was using, they was working, you know, to get it straight, but I couldn't wear it curly yet because I still had 2 different textures in my hair. I had the relaxer on the end, and then I had the natural hair at the roots. So, because when I tried to do the curly styles, of course, it didn't look right. So I was like, I can't do curly styles. I don't want to keep flattening it. So what do? Especially, like I said, in the summertime. So I basically figured out, okay, let's figure out the products first. So then I realized the products that I was using was products that I used on my hair when it was relaxed, which I realized natural hair and relaxed hair don't need the same things. So I got rid of the products that I was using. I found the right products like after about a year of being natural, year and a half. It took me about a year and a half to get all the way natural. Within that year and a half, I ended up finding products that complemented my hair while I was transitioning, and then also when it got all the way natural. So I stuck with the products, started washing more frequently. I found out to do that through my journey. I found out washing more frequently was good. Did that, trim my ends more frequently. And of course, once I went natural, I didn't trim my ends or get my hair cut or trimmed as often, because then I wanted my hair to grow out. So I wasn't getting a cut anymore. I was getting a trim, and I was just getting it like every 6 to 8 weeks or as needed. Because sometimes, depending on what I was doing with my hair, if I wasn't doing much, I didn't need to trim as frequently as other times. So doing that, I finally figured out the products. I finally figured out, you know, my wash routine. Washing once a week at least once a week was good for me. More was better. And then I started seeing the growth. I started seeing my hair getting thicker. Once I seen the thickness, I was glad about that, because that was one of the main reasons that I went natural, because my hair, like I said, with length, it had length, it was just really thin. And I wanted the thickness in the body and stuff. So once I did that and I seen the thickness coming in, my edges was getting thicker, my hair had more body, more shine, I pretty much was sold on being natural. But from me getting to that point, it took me about a year and a half. I'll say about 6 to 7 months into it, maybe 8 months, I started to kind of get more familiar with my hair, so it wasn't as hard anymore. And then I started to look more into different products. But just washing my hair and keeping my ends trim, I know it's helped me a lot far as with when my hair was wet and trying to get through it and all that stuff. So that's what made me start like really like, oh yes, okay, I can get through it when it's wet, because I was like, that was one of the frustrations, is when it was wet. But I didn't know at the time, you know, that keeping my ends trimmed more frequently and stuff would help with that. But it was so frustrating. And so that, and then I had 2 different textures on my head. So the relaxed hair would be so like matted and tangled at the end, and then the the natural hair would be more like curly and curly and more thicker. But as I got through it, I learned my hair and I just stuck with it. I try to make sure I wash, like I said, at least once a week. It wasn't always where I can do it once a week. Sometimes, you know, life will come up and I might not get it done that week. But I definitely try to keep on it as much. And I did see the difference. My hair it has a lot more body and a lot more shine. It flows better. And then, of course, I get this growing. I like to keep my hair about shoulder length, so I don't want it to get no longer than that. That's just my personal preference, but it definitely is growing. So I just wanted to say that to keep people encouraged, because I hear a lot of people saying, oh, it's hard to do natural hair, it's hard for this, or I don't have time to deal with it. And sometimes you don't have time to do it because you don't take time to deal with it. But if you take time to deal with it, then you learn it better, you connect with it more, you'll know what to do with it, and it won't be such of a hassle. So like I tell people, anything is hard if you don't know what to do with it. But if you don't never take the time to learn, then you're going to always think it's hard. And I know that from experience, like I said, because I was frustrated. I wanted to give up. I had a couple of natural friends I used to call, and I was telling them, like, oh, I can't keep doing this. I'm about to throw the relaxer in. And they always kept me encouraged, and I'm glad they did, because now I don't regret it. And it's a lot easier for me. And I know I like to sound like that because I'm a stylist, and I deal with natural hair every day. But think about that. If I deal with natural hair every day, and I'm dealing with different textures, and I can learn it, then you definitely can learn it if you're dealing with your hair every day and it's the same texture. So if you keep dealing with it more and more, you're like me, you'll learn it, but you'll just learn yours. You won't be learning yours plus a lot of other people's. So if you think of it that way, and if you really want to get to your natural hair goals, that's just something to think about. So I hope this video helps someone to encourage them to keep going, and that it's not hard. You just think it's hard because you don't know what to do with it, or you haven't found the right products, or whatever issue or concern that it is. If you have any concerns pertaining to this issue with your transitioning, or you're already natural and you're struggling with figuring out how to get the best results for your hair, you can always comment below. You can always email us, elegantsimplellc@gmail.com, or you can visit us on our website and book a consultation. We have I think it's a 15-minute consultation, 25-minute consultation, and an hour consultation. So whichever one you want to choose is fine with me. Hope to hear from you soon. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook at Elegance Simplified Salon LLC, and on Instagram at Elegance Simple LLC. Until next time, you all have a great day.